What is up, my friends? Happy Friday, everyone. It's time for another edition of Reading Roundup. We're reading this book here, The Miracle Morning. For those of you who don't know what this Reading Roundup is all about, I started doing this because I really wanted to join a book club. And I love reading, but I never was able to really find the time to join a club that I was going to be able to commit to meeting every week kind of thing. So I decided that, you know what, if I'm having this struggle, wonder if other people are having this struggle as well. And why don't we just do this online so that people can watch when they want, be a part of it when they want. And if they aren't able to find the time for it, well, that's okay too. So anyway, that is what Reading Roundup is. And we read one book at a time. And we're reading this book here by Hal Elrod called Miracle Morning. And it's a really cool concept that I was 100% not buying into when I first heard about this book, because it involves getting up an hour before you normally would get up. And I'm like, I already wake up really early. I'm not waking up an extra hour early to do anything, but let's see what this is all about. So this book is based on the premise of us not giving ourselves the self-care that we need. We don't take time for ourselves like we need to, and that just has a negative ripple effect in every aspect of our lives. So what the author has done is taken certain components that we should all be doing in regards to self-care and finding some time to do that throughout his day. And throughout his whole struggle of making this happen, once he perfected it, he decided to share it with everybody. So get your copy. If you are not able to get the copy on your own, let us know. We'll get it for you. And we would love for you to be a part of our Miracle Morning Reading Roundup. So we're on chapter 2 today. So we barely started, and the chapters are very short, so you have plenty of time to join in. But chapter 2 was about how this whole Miracle Morning concept came about for the author. He was in a really, really bad car accident, and he was actually pronounced dead at the scene. Like, that's how serious it was. He was hit dead on by a drunk driver and was kind of given a second chance at life. And not a lot of people can walk away from what he experienced and say the same thing. So he definitely did not want to take it for granted. So after he recovered from that, he started a company that had gotten really successful, and then the recession hit and his company completely flopped. So now he was in a lot of debt, and he compares being in a car accident that nearly killed him, like forever, and having debt that he was now into, like some significant debt. He said that debt was actually worse for him to go through than the car accident. And I was like, that's crazy. Like, where is he going to go with this? And what he talks about is when he was in the car accident, not a lot of people have been in a car accident to that extent and been able to walk away from it. So people were blown away and wanted to help however they could. They wanted to bring him food. They wanted to come visit him. They made sure everything was taken care of for him so that he could just recover. And when he found himself in all this debt, well, everybody's got debt. Like, that's just kind of a fact of life, or so he thought. So no one was really empathetic to the extent that they were taking care of everything for him. I guess they could empathize in the sense that they might have debt as well, but no one was making him food. No one was taking care of things for him. And so he actually describes that as being worse because he felt so alone and he didn't know what to do about it. So when he was trying to make himself better and bounce himself out of the depression that he had gotten himself into, he was advised to go for a run to clear his mind. And on this run is really what he said changed his life. And he came home and kind of took lots of components of different things that he's heard of would be good for you to do that no one ever seems to do. So in that, he found meditation or prayer, reading, saying words of affirmation to yourself, like positive affirmations to like pump yourself up, whether that's what you are right now or what you want to be, just saying them out loud and kind of convincing your mind that that's where you're headed. And journaling and exercising. And he says these components are what we neglect to give ourselves and what has a huge negative impact then on all components of our life. And it really made me think about it. I'm like, yeah, like before I started doing this, there were definitely things like I would get tired a lot. I would get, I don't know. I didn't feel like I was taking care of myself, but who had the time for that? You're going to work and then you're with your family or with your friends and you're taking care of your house and whatever the case is, and you have your hobbies that you want to do too. So he went through the same struggles. The author Hal Elrod went through the same struggles and tried to find a time to have that was distraction free where he could focus on all this stuff. And it really came down to waking up earlier and doing it then, which seems like horrible because I don't want to wake up any earlier than I have to. And yet I kind of was starting to buy into it after I read the book. Like I've read this book all the way through. And I've actually been doing Miracle Morning myself for a couple years now. And it's true. Like I wake up not quite an hour earlier, but a half an hour earlier, and kind of use the meditation and reading and words of affirmation and journaling and exercising to come together, and I kind of get it done before anybody's awake, and I'm really able to start my day off on the right foot. So I'm a firm believer of this. So that's why we wanted to start this book as with our book club this year, and kind of see if you guys wanted to join in as well. But anyway, the reason of doing it early in the morning is because it truly is distraction free. Nothing's happened in life yet. No one has needed you for work. No one has needed you from, your responsibilities with your family. It truly is time that you have that's quiet, that you can really dedicate to yourself. And it's hard because when I'm up that early, I'm like, oh, maybe I'll check my email. Maybe I'll check my text. Maybe I'll see who I'm going to call that day, or maybe I'm going to prepare some stuff for work, or maybe I'm going to, just I don't know, do some type of hobby thing. But that's not what it's about. It's about taking this time to really give yourself what you need. And I completely bought into it. And reading it again now with book club, it's so interesting to me because the struggles that he talks about in chapter 2 with getting this started, I remember. And yet it has become such an integrated part of my life now that it's so easy. My alarm rings and I wake up and it's just become part of my morning routine, just like brushing my teeth and taking a shower kind of thing. So it's super cool. And you're probably like, this is crazy. I'm definitely not doing this. But I would strongly encourage you to get this book, Miracle Morning. Continue to start the year 2020 off on a strong note, and just see what you think. And you'll see once you read the whole thing, he allows flexibility. It's all what you want to make of it. So if the morning is not good and the night is better, the whole point is having distraction-free time, a solid chunk of distraction-free time where you can dedicate to yourself to really get yourself in a good frame of mind to start the day. And it has been truly life-changing for me. So that's why I wanted to start this year off with this book in particular. So like I said, if you want to get this book and join in on our reading roundup, The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod, you can get it on Amazon. And if you don't want to get it yourself, if you're not able to, let us know and we'll get it for you. And we want you to join in. So if you're watching this, chime in with your comments on what you've taken away from chapters 1 and 2. And if you're not watching right now, then comment still. And let's start a book club together about chapter 2 of this book and share our takeaways and hope to better ourselves together. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and we will talk to you next week. Bye.